Good morning. Good morning, all. It is good to be together. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo. My name is Joan Montagnes, and I have the honor and privilege of serving you, this congregation, on this Pride Sunday, this Pride Sunday that is happening during this historic uprising of Black lives and Black voices. Welcome, welcome to worship at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo. Just want to give you a couple things about the Zoom worship. First of all, we can't see or hear you. You can't hear or see each other, but you will be able to see our worship associate, Paul Lavoie, and me. You can chat all through the service, as many of you have discovered already, and you can also chat all the way through to our virtual fellowship hour at the end of the service. Note that when you use the chat, you probably want to address the whole congregation, so make sure that you not only tab onto the panelists, but also panelists and attendees. And if you putz around with your chat, you'll figure out how to do that. Special thanks today go to Josh Disick, our engineer today, John Petroselli, who is our engineer most days and helped us out this week, Karen Street, who does all the magical visuals, Bobby Withrow, who keeps the play-by-play going in terms of order of service, and all our music staff who enrich our worship services every single Sunday. It's so good to have all those folks in there. Got a few announcements for us. General Assembly is going online this year, and that makes for an inexpensive and easy way to take part in worship, decision-making, skill building, and celebration with literally thousands of other Unitarian Universalists. We encourage you to register. The fee is only $150, and if you're interested in being a delegate from our congregation, just let me know. We have scholarship funds set aside for youth and those in financial need. June 21st, I want to tell you about June 21st. That's our Flower Communion Sunday. That's our Flower Communion Sunday. Please send a picture of a flower of your choice to newsletter at buffalouu.org this week, and your picture will become part of our virtual Flower Communion Sunday. Again, send your flower to newsletter at buffalouu.org, and Karen will make magic out of our pictures. Just a quick reminder that we have tons of activities going on all week long through our Zoom platforms. Check out the newsletter and the e-blast to find the addresses. And if you want to receive a copy of the newsletter, please contact the church office. All right. I think that's enough chit chat at the beginning of the service, enough housekeeping. Take a deep breath in because it's been a week. Let it go. And let's worship.
Good morning and welcome to our services. My name is Paul Lavoie. I'm a worship associate. Today our call to worship is a poem by Tyler Ford titled Too Much. Do you remember the first time you were called annoying? How your breath stopped short in your chest? The way the light drained from your eyes, though you knew your cheeks were ablaze. The way your throat tightened as you tried to form an argument that got lost on your tongue. Your eyes never left the floor that day. You were 13. You're 20 now, and I still see the light fade from your eyes when you talk about your interests for too long. Apologies littering every other sentence. words trailing off a cliff you haven't jumped from in 7 years. I could listen to you forever. Though I know speaking more than 3 uninterrupted minutes makes you anxious, all I want you to know is that you deserve to be heard for 3 minutes, for 10 minutes, for 2 hours, forever. There will be people who cannot handle your grace, your beauty, your wisdom, your heart, mostly because they cannot handle their own. But you will never be and have never been too much. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning, everybody. You know, when I want to set aside some time for worship, what we usually do is light a candle or a chalice. Maybe you have one at home. So let's mark this time as sacred and holy because we are together. And let us say our chalice lighting words together. We gather in loving community, inspiring one another to transform ourselves to create a more just and compassionate world. Let's join in singing, How Could Anyone Ever Tell You? This is a story called The Not Frog Princess. Once upon a time, in a land not very far away, there lived a princess who spent all day playing in the garden. She threw the ball up in the air and caught it, up in the air and caught it, up in the air, and then kerplop, right into the frog pond. The princess watched as her ball sank slowly to the bottom of the pond. But just then, her eyes caught the eyes of a remarkably handsome frog sitting on a lily pad. The princess suddenly felt all warm and fuzzy inside, and her heart began to go pit-a-pat. The frog also began to feel warm and fuzzy inside, and his heart began to go pit-a-pat. The frog also, so the frog dove deep into the pond, and when he came up, he had the baseball in his mouth. The princess was so grateful and so smitten with the frog that she kissed him right on top of his beautiful green head. Poof! The frog instantly turned into a handsome prince, and the prince and the princess lived happily ever after. But that is not the end of the story. The prince and the princess grew up to be king and queen of the castle, and together they had a little girl who they named Princess Tadpolina. The king and queen always made sure that the pond in the garden was full of handsome frogs, so Princess Tadpolina could fall in love with her very own frog prince. But Princess Tadpolina never got that warm and fuzzy feeling when she looked at any of the frogs. They were all nice enough, but they just didn't make her heart go pit-a-pat. Princess Tadpolina liked to play in the garden, just like her mother once did. Princess Tadpolina also had a baseball, and Princess Tadpolina liked to throw the ball up in the air and catch it, up in the air and catch it, up in the air, and oops, she dropped it. The ball rolled down the hill to the bottom of the garden, through the garden gate, and down, down, down towards the valley below. As it rolled faster and faster and faster, and Princess Tadpolina ran after the ball faster and faster and faster. The ball got to the bottom of the valley, but it was rolling so fast that it rolled right up the hill on the other side, through a garden gate at the foot of a garden belonging to another castle. Princess Tadpolina stopped at the garden gate of the other castle and looked into the garden. There, inside the garden, were a beautiful princess, a handsome prince, and a gorgeous person who was neither prince nor princess, but a wonderful and unique non-binary royal person. Princess Tadpolina felt that warm and fuzzy feeling inside, and her heart went pit-a-pat. Now, I don't know which of these three people Princess Tadpolina fell in love with, but it's really not important who she fell in love with, because love is love. What I do know is that everyone lived happily ever after, including all the frogs in the frog pond, who mostly, although not always, felt warm and fuzzy about other frogs, regardless of gender.
Every week, our congregation takes a good portion of its Sunday morning offering and gives it away to social justice cause outside our church walls. This month, we're supporting the good works of Feedmore of Western New York. And here's Catherine Schick to tell us about Feedmore.
Hello, I'm Catherine Schick, and I'm the Communications Director for Feedmore Western New York. It is an honor to be with you today, at least virtually, and to thank you for all that you do to support our organization and the hungry community members we serve. We're also so grateful to be considered as recipients for the Share the Plate for the month of June. For those of you who don't know about Feedmore Western New York, we are the organization formed by the merger of the Food Bank of Western New York and Meals on Wheels for Western New York. So our two hunger relief organizations have been working collaboratively for decades, and we realized that by formally coming together, we could better serve our community members of all ages, backgrounds, and circumstances. We could provide more food into the community, and we could fill unmet needs that were currently in the community. The mission of Feed More Western New York is to offer dignity, hope, and a brighter future by providing nutritious food, friendship, and skills training to our Western New York neighbors in need. And we thank you for helping us fulfill our mission, because if it were not for community partners like you, we wouldn't be able to feed our Western New York neighbors in need. Annually, Feed More Western New York was providing nutritious food and support to as many as 135,000 individuals through our services, and that was even before the pandemic hit Western New York. Since then, thousands more have been reaching out to us for additional support, many of them reaching out for the first time. People have been reaching out saying that they have been affected by job loss, job disruptions, that their children's school was normally providing 2 nutritious meals a day for them, and now they are trying to fill those missing meal gaps where the children is no longer in school. And then our homebound neighbors are reaching out to us and telling us that they just don't know where to turn to, and they're left even more vulnerable. So those are the people that you're supporting by supporting Feed More Western New York. Since the pandemic began, we are actually distributing 42% more food through our warehouse to our food distributions and to our partner food pantries. And we are actually serving an increased 56% more home delivered meals each week compared to our baseline average. Thanks to the support of the community and by wonderful organizations and churches and groups, we are able to continue to meet the increased need in the community. So thanks to people like you, we are able to meet that need. Some of the things that we have been able to do since the pandemic start is provide larger distributions and more frequent distributions of food to our partner agencies. We are able to expand our mobile food pantry program and hold pop-up distributions in underserved communities. We have been able to pack and distribute emergency food boxes to families and individuals and provide nutritious bags of food to children through our backpack program. And we have been able to onboard more clients to our home delivered meals program, also known as Meals on Wheels. In fact, we have added nearly 1,800 clients to that program just since March as a result of the pandemic. If you ever want to learn more about our organization, or if you know someone who is in need of food assistance, please direct them to feedmorewny.org or call us at 822-2002 or 852-1305. We are here to help. In the meantime, thank you so much for all you do to support Feed More Western New York. We're grateful to you, and we hope that you stay safe and well during these trying times.
You can share an offering with the church by going to PayPal or the website www.buffalouu.org and clicking on the blue donate button. Or you can send a check by mail to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo, 695 Elmwood Avenue, Buffalo, New York, 14222. If yours is a gift to our Share the Plate ministry, please write share on the memo line, and it will be shared between Feed More and the church operating budget. If yours is a welcome gift to our congregation, please write Pledge 2020 on the memo line. Either way, please write UUCB on the important line, and we will do the bookkeeping. Let's live in compassion and share our blessings with those in need. The Loneliness of Being Yourself by Alok Vaid Menon. They will tell you to be yourself, and then they will punish you when you are. They will encourage you to pursue your dreams, and then when you do, they will call you selfish. They will create marketing campaigns, slogans, video reels that tell you to live your truth, but there will be no flowers when you do. There will be loneliness. There will be fear. There may even be violence. My entire life, I was told to express myself. And then when I did, people couldn't handle it. I was told that coming out would make me happy. And then I got bashed, and no one seemed to care. What I'm getting at is that they are lying to us. And what's even more painful about it is that they don't even know that they are. When you repeat something over and over again, you begin to think it's real. What I have learned is they only want half-truths. They only want to tell you to live your best life and still grovel to them. Be yourself, but not too much. Shine bright, but tone it down. They cannot handle real truth because the real truth is a mirror, and they cannot look at themselves. They prefer to look at you. There will be no camera crews or congratulations when you do that thing of excavating yourself from the graves we mistake as bodies, holding it out to the light. There will be no celebrations because chances are there will be no one else there. There is a direct correlation between giving birth to yourself and your relationships dying. The more you gain, the more you lose. When you unearth her, she will not be conventionally beautiful. She will not say the right things, but she will be dignified nonetheless. And it is that dignity, the ability to hold your head high and say, I am, and mean it for once in your goddamn life. It means something beyond what they told you to believe in. In a world that tries its best to dispossess us of everything, there is something resistant about walking away with your dignity.
Let us join our hearts and minds in a quiet moment of prayer, meditation, and reflection. Today we specially hold in our hearts all those in the uprising. May they be safe, embracing their power. May we love with them, feeling enough compassion to celebrate in their glory and show up for justice as we are called in body, mind, and spirit. We hold in our hearts all those in the LGBTQIA community this Pride weekend and all days of every year. May they be safe, embracing their power. May we love with them, feeling enough compassion to celebrate in their glory and show up for justice as we are called in body, mind, and spirit. Let us hold in our hearts the decision makers in our larger community, the legislatures, and those in the highest office of the land, those in City Hall, decision makers everywhere. May they find the path of righteousness in their deliberations. May we point the way for them with all our might. And if they cannot find a way to lead our society toward mutual respect and honor, we ask, in the spirit of life and love, we demand that they get out of the way. And our hearts are with all of you in pain and in suffering. Let us now open this sanctuary, this time of holiness, to the names of all our loved ones, suffering in sorrow and celebrating in joy. Each name a breath, each breath a prayer.
We have cleared off the table, the leftovers saved, washed the dishes and put them away. I have told you a story and tucked you in tight at the end of your knockabout day. As the moon sets its sails to carry you to sleep over the midnight sea, I will sing you a song no one sang to me. May it keep you good company. You can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know I will love you still. You can live by yourself. You can gather friends around. You can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're gone. There are girls who grow up strong and bold. There are boys quiet and kind. Some race on ahead, some follow behind, some go in their own way and time. Some women love women, some men love men, some raise children, some never do. You can dream all the day, never reaching the end of everything possible for you. Don't be rattled by names, by taunts, by games, but seek out spirits true. If you give your friends the best part of yourself, they will give the same back to you.
The vision of peace and justice is upon us. The community of mutual respect and honor is within us. The power of transformative love is among us. So be it. Blessed be. And let the church say, Amen. It has been a week. A week that will, one way or another, write history. And each of us is asking, at some level of consciousness, we are asking, where am I in this story? Where will history etch me into the pages? I am reminded of an old spiritual written by a forgotten enslaved plantation worker. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they knelt upon George Floyd's neck? Were you there when they shot Breonna Taylor 8 times in the back? Were you there when Matthew Shepard was strung up on the fence? Were you there last year when 26 trans people were murdered for holding their head high and meaning it? Were you there in 2020 in the uprising for justice? Most of these questions are not literal questions. We're not asking these literally. The person who wrote the old song did not mean literally, were you there when they crucified Jesus? Of course you weren't. It's a rhetorical question. The question is, where are you today when the world of which we dream is being murdered over and over and over again? Where are you when children are learning to hold their hands up in surrender so they won't be shot? Where are you when fatal violence and incarceration are disproportionately inflicted upon people of color, the LGBTQIA community, and especially transgender women of color? Where are you when the intersection of racism, sexism, homophobia, biphobia, transphobia, ableism, and unchecked access to guns conspire to deprive employment, housing, health care, and life itself, holding our neighbors down, keeping our neighbors vulnerable, and not all our neighbors, but the neighbors our society from its very beginning has dehumanized? Sometimes it makes me tremble. Often. Our society has continually dehumanized people like Tyler Ford and Alok Vaid Menon, who have been told that they are too much, annoying, and who were punished for being the unique and gorgeous, royal people that they are. The poet Marge Piercy reminds us, she writes, "What can they do to you? Whatever they want. They can set you up, they can bust you, they can break your fingers, they can burn your brain with electricity, blur you with drugs till you can't walk, can't remember. They can take your child, wall up your lover. They can do anything you can't stop them from doing. How can you stop them? Alone, you can fight, you can refuse, you can take what revenge you can, but they roll over you. But two people fighting back to back can cut through a mob. A snake dancing file can break a cordon. An army can meet an army. Two people can keep each other sane, can give support, conviction, love, massage, hope, sex. Three people are a delegation, a committee, a wedge. With four, you can play bridge and start an organization. With six, you can rent a whole house, eat a pie for dinner with no seconds, and hold a fundraising party. A dozen makes a demonstration. 100 fill a hall. 1,000 have solidarity and your own newsletter. 10,000 power and your own paper. 100,000 your own media. 10 million your own country. It goes on one at a time. It starts when you care to act. It starts when you do it again after they say no. It starts when you say we and know who you mean. And each day you mean one more. Thus writes the poet Marge Piercy. This creating a world of which we dream is about being present. It starts when you care with compassion, with loving together, with so loving the world that you sacrifice your comfort. You see, when I talk about love, the transformative power of love, I am not speaking about anything sweet or sentimental. I'm talking about the kind of love that tears down injustice and iniquity, that abides in the White House, the City Hall, in police unions, and in our own hearts. I am talking about the kind of love that builds up schools for every child's needs and universal health care for every body. I am talking about a love that fills food deserts with plenty and every neighborhood with affordable housing and economic opportunity. The people of color in our community know all about this. They have been calling for it all their lives, for generations on generations. I speak only for myself and for white allies. Creating the world of which we dream begins by being present, by listening, by saying no to our old leaders, by following new leaders until we earn the right to be part of their we. Because when allies become part of the new we create the world of which we dream. This is no time for tut, tut, isn't it a shame? Or going it alone. This is no time to watch a white man fall from a policeman's shove again and forget that on May 10th, a black man, Quentin Settles, was punched repeatedly in the face by Buffalo police while he was already on the ground. This is no time to say the news is too hard. This is the moment. This is the longed for tidal wave of justice. Rise up today. Rise up in solidarity with people of color, the LGBTQIA community, people with disabilities. Rise up today. Have faith that today hope and history will rhyme. But don't go off half-cocked. Remember, white supremacists are out there waiting for our mistakes. Remember, Rosa Parks didn't just sit down on the bus because her feet were tired. She sat down in a moment that was strategically planned for months by a large network of Black civil rights activists. Today at 2 o'clock, we have the opportunity to join a Black-led rally in Martin Luther King Jr. Park, organized by the NAACP and the AFL-CIO. I'm going to be there and I hope you can join me. 2 o'clock, Martin Luther King Jr. Park. Remember, that the transformative power of love, of loving with, can empower us to overcome all hatred, all fear, and all oppression. Remember, do not go it alone. Do not take it upon yourself, no matter how angry and helpless you feel, because you're not alone. This is the day. This is the day that if white allies follow a Black-led, Black-organized rebellion against injustice, we will become part of a new creation where nobody is ever told that they are less than whole or that they are too much. A new creation where we can all say, I am dignified, and everyone will believe it. Let's join in singing. Love will guide us because it will.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from need to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak with thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love.
As we extinguish the flame of this chalice, may we carry its light with us into the world, in the power of peace, faith, justice, and love.
There are only two feelings, love and fear. There are only two languages, love and fear. There are only two activities, two actions, love and fear. There are only two motives, two procedures, two frameworks, two results, love and fear. So let's choose the transformative power of love together as we create change. Remember, you are blessed. Remember, you are a blessing. And above all else, remember, you are not alone. You are never alone. So be it. Blessed be. And let the church say, Amen.